Hey folks, Vlogger John here, and it's Tuesday, November the 11th, Remembrance Day here in Canada. As you can see, it's winter time here at Vlogger John's house. Yep, it's around 2:30 in the afternoon. It was sunny. It was snowing this morning, and then it was sun. The sun came out around noon, but now it's clouded over again. It's about -4 Celsius right now. And you'll see this video tomorrow, which is Wednesday, the 12th. Anyways, I don't really have anything planned for a video, so I was just going to go out to my this shed over here and check out a few things. I'll turn you around here. So I'm sure you don't want to be looking at my lovely mug. Oh, by the way, I'll turn you back around. I stole one of Gator's hats. Oh, Gator. It's warm though. Okay. It's a little bit windy. By the way, we ended up getting about 15 centimeters. It's kind of settled down a little bit, so it doesn't look quite as much as 15, but we got this on Sunday. They're calling for 15 to 20 in places. Well, anywhere from, the forecast was anywhere from 5 to 20 centimeters. So they didn't quite have it pinned right down. It's going to go in this back shed. Back door of the shed. Now this was an old, we call it the ice shed, ice barn. You've probably seen it many times in some of my past videos. It's actually older. It's older than my house. House was built in 1896. Apparently this building was built quite a few years before that. And this is where they would keep the ice in here. Look how thick the walls are. All the way over. Good, I would say 18, 20 inches thick. It's got a loft up above. Now I put this loft in here many years ago. There was nothing here before. And of course there's a door on the outside to get up to the loft where I store stuff. And as you can see, I store stuff in here. I don't know the exact age of this building. The house is 1896. So I'm figuring this was quite a bit before that. That's what I was told anyway. This was actually part of the old homestead before our house was built. There used to be a house just down there, the first pioneer house, 200 years ago in that area. And of course, past these pine trees was where the main barn was. It started out as a log barn, and then they built onto it a newer style barn. It's all gone now. And apparently this ice house was part of the original homestead. So I'm not sure if this is 200 years old or not, this building, but anyways, I got a lot of stuff in here. I decided to put my cultivator, which was outside, that you saw. It was over there by the fence. You saw that on one of my last videos. I found a little, I just decided to put it in here out of the weather for the winter. It's not going to stay in here. I'm going to actually put it in my woodshed. Once there's some wood out of my woodshed used, I can fit it in there. I just stuck it in there. I would normally leave this probably outside, except for the wooden handles. I did put a stain on those in the summertime. I put some heavy duty stain to help keep them. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff in here. A lot of stuff. I got to sort it out a little bit better. Well, actually, this is all my patio furniture underneath here. The patio table, the chairs. And then we got these little plastic creatures that I put out in the flower bed every year. I inherit those from my mom when she passed away. Yep, she liked all that stuff, and they're heavy duty. Like, they're not cheap. And she bought them many years ago. Okay, what was I going to show you? Oh, I know what I was going to show you. This is my latest find that I got a couple of weeks ago. It was a barn find from a local lady who was getting rid of it. Most of you probably know what that is. If you don't, it's a cream separator. I always wanted a cream separator. Now this kind here is a Baltic, made in Sweden. It was used here on a local farm nearby. The lady was getting rid of some of her uncle's stuff out of the barn. He had some other antiques too, but I was really only interested in this. It's pretty neat. Now the reason I always wanted one was that I played with one. My grandmother on my dad's side had one on her front yard that she used for a decoration. She had a flower pot on it or whatever. And well, I used to be over there when I was a kid, and we used to crank the handle on it. Now hers wasn't a Baltic, it was a different kind. But they're pretty hard to find around here. This one's in really good shape. It's even got some of the containers here, a strainer. Not really sure what that's for. Now, doing some research on this, I did discover that this was probably the earlier model, like late 1800s, early 1900s. The reason I know that with my research, it's got the raised name here, Baltic. And the earlier ones had the raised name, raised letters. And the newer ones just had that painted on, the name just painted on. Oh, you can hear the wind just a-whipping out there. So, late 1800s, early 1900s, roughly. Now, I'm going to crank it here a little bit. There's not a lot of room in here. It's a little bit stiff. A little bit tippy. So, you can see the holes down on the bottom, so they would probably bolt that down or screw it down to the barn floor or wherever they were using it. Now, when I got this, it was seized up a little bit. It was rusted, so I took, there's a little, I don't know if you can see it on the side here, there's a little door you can take off. So I socked some oil to it, put some oil in here, and about an hour it was unseized. So basically how this works is, it separates the cream from the milk. So what you would do, I believe, is pour the milk in here, fresh milk, and they wanted to separate the cream from that. So what they did was pour the milk in. I think it would make its way down in here, and then inside this there is, I forget what they called it, but it was spun really fast, and because of the what do you call it, centrifugal force, it would spin so fast in there. So every crank of this handle, one crank, the mechanism inside would spin, well, according to my research, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, but every crank of this handle, one complete crank, the mechanism inside would spin 100 times, close to 100 times. And it would spin so fast, it would throw the cream to the outside from the milk. And since milk, I think cream, again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think cream is lighter than milk. So the cream would come out one spout here, probably this spout, the higher spout, and the milk would come out this spout. You'd have your container down here or whatever, this thing swiveled. All this comes apart. I'm not going to take it apart right now, but that's basically the concept of one of these. Apparently you can still buy these new, like a tabletop version, for people who are really into that kind of stuff, separating cream from milk. But anyways, so that's how that would work. Now on my grandmother's, I'm going to step back so you can see it a little better. Not a lot of room in here. I would drag this outside and show you better, but since it's cold and windy out there, I'm going to stay in here. My grandmother's, when you would spin hers, okay, you would spin hers. It's not wanting to spin. There we go. Probably needs a little more oil. You would spin hers and it would ding. I remember it. I think that's why we played with it, because we liked the dinging sound. It would ding. And I didn't know this at the time, but after doing some research on this one, the ding was actually means you weren't spinning it fast enough. So this one doesn't ding. I don't know why. I guess it was a different company that made my grandmother's. I forget what kind it was. Yeah, so it would ding, and that would tell you have to spin faster. Anyways, I just thought I would show you that. It's a cool piece. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Probably going to put it in the Lager John Museum one day that I haven't built yet. I've been told I should have a museum, because I do have a lot of crap. I mean, some people would think it's crap. I just think it's pretty cool. History, especially this one. On the other side, you can't really see it well. I don't have my glasses, but it says made in Sweden. There was different companies that made them. It was kind of neat. The only disappointment in it is it doesn't ding. Oh well, it's still a pretty cool local find. And I just had to have it. Anyways, what else can I show you in here other than a lot of stuff? Some coolers, some containers. Here's some of my signs from back in the day when I used to sell garlic and vegetables and potatoes and all that stuff. Got some cross-country skis up there and up there. Oh, I know what I'm going to show you. I just got to dig it out. Just give me a minute, guys. I'll be back. I got to dig something out. I don't know if I can reach this. I want to show you this, what I found too. Hold on, guys. Oh, I need a ladder. Okay.